Hello class, today we are going to be painting like the Impressionists did, and we are going to be following Claude Monet's piece of the water lilies as inspiration for our watercolor painting today. Class, have you ever wanted to capture a moment? To make a picture that shows not just how something looks, but also how it makes you feel? Meet the man who did just that, Claude Monet. Claude Monet was an Impressionist artist. Impressionism is a style of painting that began in France in the early 1860s when artists started painting pictures outside rather than in their studios. They wanted to capture moments in time. Because the light conditions kept changing, they had to work very quickly using quick gestural brush strokes of paint. The painting that we will be using for inspiration, The Bridge Over a Pond of Water Lilies, was painted right in Claude Monet's very own backyard. The materials we'll be using today is a pencil and crayons and watercolors and a piece of copy paper. The crayons that we will need are pink, white, and green. Okay, now let's get our pencil and our piece of paper ready. And let's get our fingers in the right sketching position when we're holding our pencil, with the 3 fingers on top and the thumb on the bottom. First, we will be sketching out our bridge. Do you see where I'm sketching out on the top part of the paper? The top part of the bridge and the bottom part of the bridge. And now we're going in the middle of the bridge for the railing, like this. Notice that when we're sketching, we are pressing down on the side part of the pencil, not on the tip point part of the pencil. Now we're going to sketch out the rest of the bridge, and then we're going to shade it in. Follow after me. Now I'm making the shading a little bit lighter with the eraser, so we have a lot of different values of gray going on the bridge. Now we are drawing in the pond, which later we're going to be painting that blue. Now I'm adding in some of the pond plants, the shrubbery alongside the shore of the pond, and some trees in back of the bridge. I'm using a lot of different mark making with the pencil because we've got trees back there, we've got all kinds of weeds and greenery. Now I am drawing in lily pads and some more water plants. Now the water lilies here farther back towards the bridge are a little bit smaller, so I'm making the lily pads small because they're farther away from the viewer in terms of perspective. Larger lily pads here towards the front of the pond, more plants. Now we're going to use our crayons, and our water lilies are pink, so we're adding in the pink flowers right here in the front of the pond, and then they're a little bit smaller towards the back, so we're just doing little dots in the back, pink. Are going to be adding in the white crayon. We're going to color real heavy around the water lilies because that is going to keep the paper white and keep the water lilies looking white because of that extra layer of white crayon wax is waterproof for when we use our blue watercolor wash over it. So a nice heavy coat of the white all around those lily pads. Do you see that? Round shapes are the shape of the lily pads. Now for the green crayon, we are going to add the water plants, and I'm going to use a lot of lines and mark making with the crayon. Do you see that? All over the pond. It's got a lot of plants. They're growing up from the side of the pond. Now the last thing we need to do, and we can't forget, is a heavy coat of white crayon wax over the gray pencil bridge. Hey, now we're ready for the watercolor paint. So now we're just going to be taking our brush and going over the green crayon that we drew with the green watercolor and adding some more green in the pond. And I will be mixing some black into the green to make it a little bit darker and a little bit of brown. Can you see where I'm mixing on the watercolor box right on the lid? It's very comfortable place to do some mixing. I want you to experiment with different shades of green by mixing in brown and black and just going ahead and using your gestural brush strokes on your watercolor painting. Think about the way plants grow. Your strokes go from the bottom up like plants grow. Quick sweeping brush strokes. paint like the Impressionists do. Just paint how you feel. Just don't think too much about it. As you're mixing, have fun and use the colors to inspire you to however you want, however you feel you want your painting to look. Now we're on to the blue water. I'd like you to try doing a little bit of mixing with your blue as well. Maybe add a little bit of green to the blue. Maybe you want it to be a little bit darker. Add brown to the blue, black to the blue. And I want you to just go ahead and paint the water in and think about how beautiful being outside in nature and looking out in a pond and all the beautiful colors and all the nature out there. Let the colors speak to you. I hope you enjoyed painting the Impressionist style today. Now for a surprising visit to the Dallas Museum of Art. Hello students, we're here at the Dallas Museum of Art. Myself and Mr. G.
Hola a todos.
Did you come with us, okay?
Yes, that'll be fun.
Of course, we had to stop and see the famous Claude Monet.